The Dothan Area Business Podcast is brought to you in part by Healthcare Resource Center. It's free help for people on Medicare, and the best part about it is that they're local. They're in the community. You'll see them, and they'll treat you right.
Healthcare Resource Center, free help for people on Medicare.
Connor, thanks for coming to the podcast. How you doing?
Rick, doing really, really well.
Good.
Really well. I'm really excited.
Good. Over 2 years ago, you and I sat down in some random office over at WDHN. They were nice enough to let me record there, and they turned out to be great media partners along with the other media partners that we have in the market. But 2 years ago, did you anticipate the type of response, or did you anticipate where we would be at today?
So I'm going to answer that in two parts.
Okay.
Because part one, partly yes, because that's what we set out to do, and so I've been fortunate to be part of, successful organizations over the years. You're not successful if you don't set your sights high and have the confidence that you can follow through, on your plans and your vision. And when we were talking, clearly was a vision at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But then you get to the reality of, execution and what you're trying to achieve. And, the reality of coming into Dothan, we probably weren't the first sport of choice if they would have voted on bringing a sport to Dothan.
Right.
Be the first one. I don't think it would have been soccer. What we all don't realize when you go into a city that's not been a sports city yet, you have no idea what the response is going to be.
Right.
So we went in with really confident expectations. We knew we were going to be able to build a quality team on the field. That's always a good start in a sports product. We were hopeful and I'd say pretty confident we could have good success and support. But the reality of the first 2 years of our success on the field and the success in the stands with the passionate support of the community, clearly has been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it's wild. I remember listening back to that podcast before we did this one in preparation, and it's like, okay, I asked, okay, who are we cheering against, right? What is this going to look like? I'll be honest, I did not anticipate the overwhelming response from community support and the level of the support from the fans that we have. I'm out in the community all the time. I'm talking to people, and we get on the subject of Dothan United Soccer Club, and hey, have you been to a Dragons match yet? And a lot of the times they say no.
No.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Right. Yeah. And so, then it's like, okay, did you know that we average 5,000 fans a night, and every single one of them are shocked and pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
And they know I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And it's,
I got it for video, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. We have a fantastic social media team. But it's one of those things where it's, hey, you're missing out. We talk about it all the time, where it's you can go to a match, get concessions, and be outside with other people in your community rooting for something that is a representation of your community, and it is cheaper and more fun than going to the movies. Yeah. It is cheaper and more fun doing almost anything else.
Yeah. And when you come to a game, you're not sitting and just watching.
Right.
You're interacting.
Right.
And what I love, one of the things I love the most about what we've been able to achieve so far is the interaction between our fans and our players. There's a love affair there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I get goosebumps still, even from first season, or was it? I think it was second season. You'll have to correct me. I think it might have been first season when East Atlanta Football Club came to town, and one of the other things that I talk about with people who are missing out on coming to games is we have bounce houses for the kids. Sure. That's free of charge. It's with the cost of admission to get into the match, but then also typically we have a fireworks show at the end of every match. Right. And when I tell them all of that, and then I say, just for like $12 a ticket.
Right.
They're just like, wow, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And so anyway, but going back to East Atlanta Football Club, we had fireworks. They beat us in the last second of the match. Our crowd was hostile.
Yeah.
The PA announcer was doing a fantastic job of trying to help irritate them and get under
Did a
their
good
skin.
job, I think. Yeah.
And they were just talking all kinds of mess to our fans, to our supporters
Yes,
group.
yeah.
But I think I'm always thankful for it because our Dragons literally got in their faces, started shoving, telling them to move on, like defending the fans.
Yeah.
When I saw that from the press box, I was like, oh, this is a love story.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. These
true.
guys love us almost as much as we love them.
Take that story a little bit further. East Atlanta, on their website and their social media, are promoting that win against us.
That's right. I saw
like,
that.
like it was a home game for them.
Yeah.
The crowd and their fireworks and everything
Yeah.
else. So they're using our atmosphere and our fans to promote themselves, which is obviously a compliment.
Yeah. It's also the unfortunate side of marketing.
Yes. It's like, okay, you guys could spend that money as well.
Yeah. But no, I mean, going back to what you said, that love affair between the fans and the players. I mean, we've got a fantastic supporters group. Sky Strickland, Juan Sapero on the drums, Patrick Smith on the bullhorn. They've also got a podcast that's just dedicated to Dothan United Soccer Club. Yeah. They get, I don't know, they don't get it from me, but they get insider information that they're able to share and
They
tease.
hustle for that information.
Oh, man.
We don't just feed them.
No, I know.
They come up with stuff that we don't even have. And so, and just that in itself, I can remember when we introduced the name of the team downtown. Sky and Patrick came up to me in that same upstairs, reception, and they're like, "Hey, are you going to have a supporters group?" I'm like, "Well, we'd like to have a supporters group. I don't want to run it. I want it to be organic."
Right.
And Sky was like, "I got it."
Yeah.
And then Patrick came up to me and said, "You have a supporters group?" I said the same thing. "Well, we definitely want one. We don't want," he goes, "Well, are you going to run it?" I said, "We don't want to run it."
Right.
I said, "I think you should talk to him over there," and they combined, next thing you know, with Juan,
Yeah, they never met each other. They didn't know each other before that night.
I know.
And now they're like just buds.
They're really tight. So we brought people together.
Right.
There.
Yeah, and it's so much fun too because I've talked to people as well from like the first season till today where it's like, where else are you going to go to where you can just be loud and root for people and then root against people with your neighbor, regardless of politics, regardless of personal beliefs. We're all together, shoulder to shoulder, and we're rooting for a team that represents the whole city and the whole area, the Wiregrass.
Yeah.
And
I'll add to that, where can you do all of that and feel really safe today?
Yeah.
I mean, our environment in the stadium, you walk through those gates, and it's just a warm, safe, fun environment. I get goosebumps every game. Yeah. It's just so tough to describe it unless you live it in there. But in today's world, sending your kids out to a movie. I mean, I don't want to jinx us and then have something happen, obviously, but we got wonderful. Support from the local police, local fire, our own security from DSI would do a great job. Yeah. So we have like multiple layers of protection there, and then the police are surrounding the place. So it truly, when you send your family out to our game, you're going to be in a fun, loud, interactive environment. Right. And I don't think there's anything like it in Dothan.
Yeah. It really is a family-friendly atmosphere. Yeah. It's very family-friendly entertainment. I mean, you're going to have some things that are going to come up, but there are so many other things that are far worse out there that, are just trying to entertain and have that family-friendly environment, but aren't necessarily the at the same level as we are. Sure. And so, but no, I mean, first season, we ended up 4-4-4. Yeah. We didn't make it to the playoffs. We're really trying. We're kind of on that cusp, making it. Yeah. But we didn't. And Carl,
I think we learned something that year because we have a lot of talent on the team and we had a lot of confidence, I think Carl tinkered with the lineup a little bit to try to give guys playing time, and we lost a few games there that were probably winnable if we had played our top 18. And so I know it wasn't lost on me, like, hey, it's a short season. You can't give away points in this league.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think took them by surprise was how difficult it was to defend our home stadium, our home turf. Yeah. Because teams come in here, this game is circled on their calendar. It's the biggest crowd, the best atmosphere, video boards, and so every team that comes in gives us their best game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I've learned being a part of the organization and checking out our opponents, for our away matches, I'm shocked that there's like 50 people in the crowd for away matches. Not our supporters, but their home fans. There's no more than 100, and then we turn around and you go to Repuse and there's 4,000 fans in the stands for season 1, and then season 2 there's 5,000 to 5,500 fans. I mean, you're playing in front of a ton of people, and a lot of our soccer players are still college players. They could be on a very high level college program and still not play in front of 1,000 people, still not play in front of 500 people.
Our first preseason game this year, guys are saying, man, it's the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. And I'm like, wait till opening night. This is, this was a paltry part of what we're going to see for opening night. So it's cool, because I think what it does also, as we're developing the players, we're developing in a full rounded environment. So they're treated like pros with housing. They're treated. We feed them well every day. So there are a lot of teams in our level are scripting on food, not on purpose, just because of budgets, And so our guys are being fed twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Ana Rodriguez from organizations did a great job organizing. They're at the cellar today for lunch, for example.
Oh, okay.
not a bad lunch for a young man.
No.
And then when they get in the arena, in the stadium, the locker rooms, major league. It's just unbelievable. The coaching staff, we have multiple coaches. I think we're the only team with 4 coaches in the league, maybe Asheville now. But and then they come out to the environment they're playing in. Right. And wow, like it's just developing them all the way around as a player. Yeah. We've got media out there every night. There's 2 TV stations out there every night. Yeah. So they're getting a major league environment to play in, every night. And obviously, it's shown that we've been advancing players quite well over the last 2 years because of it.
Don't get too far ahead now, right? Because we'll definitely talk about the advancement of our players. But going back to the difference between season 1 and season 2. Season 1, the team was thrown together. We got great players from the connections of, Carl Reynolds and his brother. We were 4-4-4. The guys were pretty good. They did pretty well for the season, especially with having such a small turnaround time. Sure. And then the fans didn't care.
They didn't know.
The fans were just like, let's go. And you created a fantastic environment with the fireworks, with the pillars of fire, with the lights, with the jump houses, the VIP area. I mean, we have such great partnerships with businesses that are like, hey, we don't know if we're going to get a return on our investment, but we want to be a part of this, and it's going to be something cool. And I think it did, and you really see it in the second season, kind of bridging the gap from first season to second, is you have people who really jumped in and became so supportive, like Kelly Pilot.
Oh my gosh.
She's like the official team mom. Yeah. And, she was like the adopted mother for Yago, who is now the face of the organization and one of the fan favorites by far. And then you also have people like Neil and Dusty Guess, who are partners through Coca-Cola but are still super fans. I remember at the end of the first season, Dusty had an autograph book and was just like trying to get every single person's autograph that was a player. She asked for my autograph and I was like, you're crazy, get out of here. But she just loved it. And then you have the McGee's, and then you know, Jim and his wife Joanne, and then you have, but then going back to Kelly, she and I believe Dusty partnered together, correct me if I'm wrong, and said, hey, for season 2, we're going to have host families.
Yeah, so I'd like to say two things about that. Going back to Kelly, her passion for the team was also deeply connected to her lifelong friendship with Stephen Durham, our partner
That's right.
that passed away. He introduced me to Kelly, and Kelly was actually one of the few people that could hold Stephen in line, to be honest. I saw it right in front of me in the bank. So when he passed away, she came to me and said, you know, to honor Stephen, I'd like to do anything I can to help this team.
Wow.
You know, from her heart. And so, you know, we started with her running the VIP, and as she got to know the player, like you talked about her, you talk about, you know, the guesses, like Neil Guess and Coca-Cola has been such an unbelievable partner as a sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's gone way beyond that. You know,
They're definitely giving a lot.
They're giving a lot
Yeah.
of their heart and soul and their funds from the
Right.
company, and they never stop.
Yeah, I see their marketing material even during the off season.
Everywhere.
You know, they put Coca-Cola signs that had incorporated the Dothan United Soccer Club
Yes.
logo, and just
on the back of their trucks now
just
too.
to push, just to pull.
Yes,
yeah, and we're
yep.
talking like season 1.
Yeah.
Going into season 2, I was like, okay, these are great partners.
Yes.
They're not just partners, but they're really big fans. But go ahead.
No, and so you know, I'm proud to say they're not only great sponsors but great friends of the organization, great friends of me personally. And when you're growing an organization that backs up that type of person,
Yeah.
you know, you grow quickly. You know, because it's with Neil, it's not just simply we're going to spend X number of dollars to sponsor the team and sell some Coke products.
Right.
It's how can we make this team and the organization the best it can be? How can we proudly
Right.
grow this together
Yeah.
in Dothan and surrounding areas? We've got groups coming in this weekend from 45 minutes away, 60 miles away. You know, that doesn't happen by accident. You know,
No.
a lot of those people have been exposed by the perimeter of the Coke marketing, the Durden,
Yeah.
you know, billboards.
Right.
And so
Yeah, Durden's a great partner
another
as well.
partner that's you know, it's allowed us to have a major league look, you know, without a major league budget type of thing,
Right.
because they've all worked together on things like that. So, but then Kelly, you know, and Dusty were like, how do we further support these boys
Yeah.
for next year?
Yeah.
And some of the thoughts were, maybe for some of the younger guys, let's house them, like billets, you know, in other sports. And in hockey, we do the same thing. And I said, you know what? I don't know if we're quite ready for billeting yet. And so between the two, and they came back. So what about like just a support, like have families adopt these young men,
Yeah.
and support them any way they can.
Yeah.
You know? And we're like, love the idea, have no idea where it's going to go.
Right.
You know.
And it went high and far.
Went high and far, and and you're part of that group, I believe.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
And it's because of the people who got involved to support these players. I can't go on social media. I almost get jealous sometimes. I'm like, man, they invite the players out to dinner there. I wouldn't mind going, bringing my wife, you know. But you know, they're hanging out at their people's houses.
Right.
You know, there's people, some players that have developed relationships so close it's almost like mama and papa. You know.
Right.
And so, and you saw like the end of the year when we broke up and had the end of the year party, there was tears involved. There was,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to stay in touch, you know,
Yeah,
and in the
Yeah.
off season, our host families are going to Florida to see games, going to
Yes.
Georgia to see games,
Yeah.
staying in
Yeah.
touch with the players, and word like that spreads.
Yeah, absolutely.
It spreads
Hands
amongst
down,
players.
no
So
question.
we had so many questions about the family support program in the off season, and you know, can we participate? And
Right.
and so again, it was organic, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
And every game, there's treats being dropped off to the guys at their locker.
Yeah.
Before they go on the road, they got a little gift basket in every one of them, and
Yeah.
a lot of families there send them off and see them when they come back.
Yeah.
And so when you take the level of support we give them and a professional level and the housing we give them and how we treat them with meals, when you add that level of support, we also have a chaplain system.
Yeah.
It provides for those people that need sort of religious support.
Right.
You know, we have that. Not we don't push it on anyone.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Right.
So we try to offer a complete package of support and love.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say we're a family. You know, we love our players. We love our fans. This isn't just a sport to us. This is, we're trying to do something world class in the city of Dothan,
Right.
on a minor league budget.
Yeah.
And as a team so far, between everything we've done and what the community's done to support us, boy, we're growing into a great little organization.
Yeah, I would say you have really big supporters on the organization side, right? Like, again, the McGee's, they're volunteering heavily. I remember seeing Jim first season, like I showed up early because I have to be here. We got to prep. There's, there's that show part of things.
Sure.
And I would see Jim just kind of like walking around doing stuff.
Setting up tables.
And I was like, okay. And then the more the season went along, Jim McGee is like setting up tables, setting up chairs, like doing odd and end things. And I have a fantastic vantage point of the whole stadium, or a lot of the stadium. And so I'd see him over here, I'd see him over there, and then a couple games later, I see his wife kind of tagging along with him, helping him out. Yeah. And then a couple games later, Jim's over here doing something, she's over here doing something, and they're really, really involved in the organization along with Dusty and Kelly. I mean, they're all hands on deck. But then you have supporters from like the fan side who are heavily involved with the players. Mm-hmm. You've got Frog. You've got, her significant other as well. They're both heavily involved.
For sure.
You've got Rhonda Ackrey, who is heavily involved as well. Kathy Dixon, and they've got like Sandy Hodge. And
it goes on and on.
Yeah. I mean, those people, their families and there's so many others like them who love these boys. Genuinely support them, genuinely have no problem setting up like a dinner for them at a restaurant and saying, hey, this is a standing invitation, we're always going to be here at this place
bring some
at
of
this
the other
time
guys,
bring them, have fun, we're just going to love on you. And so that's all contributing to a fantastic organization as a whole, because these players are coming and they're like, okay, we know we're going to be taken care of. And so I remember sitting with you last year before the season and just saying, hey man, we average 4,500 fans a night. We've got a great social media presence. We did pretty well for turning it around in such a short amount of time for the first season. And now we're implementing host families. And I remember like just laughing and joking with you and saying, how are we going to get better?
Yeah.
And
what's next?
Yeah. And you were like, Rick, I was going to ask you that same question. I was like, I don't know. Like, what else can we do? And so when I was approached by Kelly, she's spearheading that, I was like, oh, immediately, yes. And my mentality was, if my son were out there in these boys' shoes, what would I pray for them to have? Yes. And it would be to have a good family that's going to love on them and take care of them. In no way am I going to try to like be their father,
right,
or replace their family, or these guys don't owe us anything. Mm-hmm. We're just going to be support for them, and we're going to be there in case they need anything or in case they have any questions. But it turned into so much that first season. I remember I had Lori Goddard, and he called me one day and he's like, hey Rick, I've got X amount of dollars. I really need to buy a car. Can you point me in the right direction? I'm like, yeah, and I so excited because it was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? Started asking some like father questions.
Sure.
And then it's like, well, these are the ones that I'm thinking of. And he sent me the links and I saw who was selling them. And then I said, hey, I have no idea who this person is, but these are the questions that I would have about this vehicle. Because at the time I was working at Techway Automotive and I was able to ask the technicians like, hey, what's wrong with this car?
Sure.
And so I went through 4 cars and I went back to him and I was just like, hey, with car A, you're going to run into this. Car B, you're probably going to hit that. Car C, that's a good one. With this car, I know this guy, they're kind of a salesman, so just kind of be careful about it. Don't let them push you, pressure you, whatever. And so to be able to give that type of feedback, and then also the gifts that we give them, and they're not anything big, but it's enough to let them know like, hey, we love you.
Absolutely.
And they felt it.
When you think about 2 years ago, almost every player had no idea where Dothan is, what state it was in, what the weather was like, what the people are like. And, when people in the soccer world talk about Dothan today, it is like, that's where you want to be. Right? And then for us, once we get the guys here, they practice for 2 hours a day. Maybe they're in the gym another hour. Then they got the rest of the day, in a strange land, not surrounded by family. And so to have the support family is to be there.
Right.
And, and sometimes just to hang. It doesn't have to be anything structured. Just come over to the house, watch TV. It's the feedback. And again, from our perspective, sometimes if it's too forced, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so to have it be organic, and then when you have Dothan's true Southern charm, Southern personality come through, it speaks so well for our city.
Yeah.
And it speaks so well for our organization.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife did a fantastic job of making sure that the things that we were getting these players were thoughtful. Yeah. So it was very intentional. It's like, okay, where are they being housed? Okay, what's close within proximity of them for them to be able to like walk and enjoy whatever it is that they enjoy. So like Lori and Ezra, they both enjoyed reading. And so my wife was like, we're going to get them a gift card to Downtown Books. It's close to where they're being housed at the moment. They're able to walk and they're able to pick out a book, awesome. That they can enjoy. Yeah. They like coffee. We went and got them gift certificates and dropped them off for another match to Mural City Coffee Company, and then to I think KBC or some places downtown. Yeah. And it was so nice. And I could talk about the host families forever, but one of the things I remember, my dad had a health scare, and it rocked us. But
I remember, actually.
Yeah, and I remember the next match after like the initial punch from that health scare, like I just went and gave Lori and Ezra $20, and I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. With my dad's, like, we just got a lot of things going on right now, and this is all I can do right now. I didn't have enough time to run out and get you guys a thoughtful gift, but here you go. I hope you guys are still feeling love. And I remember Lori, probably one of the shyest people. Yes. He wrapped his arm around me. He's like, Rick, we know you care about us. And I was like, shut up, dude. Get out of here. You're going to make me cry before I got to go on the mic, man. And I just remember like, okay. Because it was like, they recognized it. Yeah. And, we weren't a burden to them, and we weren't creeping.
I'll add to some of that stuff. So, and I won't mention names, but some of the stories that I've had in return from families were along the lines of, you have no idea what having those boys and our family have done for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a two-way street.
Yeah.
Helping the players and helping the local families who are, and that's what family is all about, right? It's a two-way street. It's not one way. And so I'd sit back in amazement, and we're trying to duplicate that in another market. And we've got billet families in hockey, and they picked up a lot of that this year as well, as opposed to just being billets. But I have to say, I'm so proud of our families here because Kelly and Dusty had a vision.
Yeah.
Had no idea exactly how it was going to go.
Right.
And what the families have done for the players and the players for the families have just made it a wonderful story to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a big contribution. You know, you've got the fan support, right? Like, where else are they going to be playing in front of 5,000 fans on any given night, minimum? Where else are they going to go and have a support system for themselves and from their teammates, other host families, right?
Yeah.
And then we're like the facilities that we have, they're, you know, some teams that travel to Rip Hughes to play us, we're driving their own vehicles. We have a team bus.
Right.
So it's like you're being well taken care of at Dothan United Soccer Club, and the fan support, I mean, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so we're so thankful for the fans.
And vice versa. So imagine these young men going on the field at home, and they've got something to fight for.
Oh, yeah.
They've got people. It's not just fans showing up for a game. Like we talk about that connection. When they know they're competing for Dothan, they know they're putting their hearts on the line for the city of Dothan. And you know, as an owner operator, I mean, to try to build that with a plan is very, very difficult, you know, almost impossible, because, again, I keep using the word organic. Some organic parts of this has to happen and connect for it all to happen, and it's all happening here.
Yeah.
You know, and for those fans that have not come out to a game yet, but I sure invite you to come out and to see what's going on here and be part of what we're building.
Yeah, so we have Montgomery United coming up this Saturday. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Gates open at 6. There's no bad seat at Rip Hughes. There's better seats if you're sitting in center pitch.
Sure.
But for the most part, I mean, I remember hearing about people like Troy Fountain, huge soccer fan, great supporter. He's got VIP tickets, and he's like, I don't want to sit in VIP. I want to be with the Circle City Inferno boys, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just thought that was so funny and like a great story, because, you know, he could be over in VIP rubbing elbows with people, networking and enjoying that fantastic experience of the food and the drinks. But he's like, nah, I'm going to go sit with those maniacs over there, beating the drums and being loud. And so
I think one of the beauties of being a fan, you can be any type of fan you want when you come to our game.
Yeah.
You can be in the middle of the Inferno. You can enjoy the socialization of the VIP. You could be over near the inflatables, hanging on the fence and sipping a cold one or you know, a water while your kid's having a lot of fun. So you can be whatever type of fan you want to be when you come out to a game, and I just love that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and even continuing like that growth of support from season 1 to season 2, we had host families. We had fantastic support from the fans season 1, and we're able to ride that wave going into season 2 and get, you know, more excitement because we have more advocates out in the community talking about how great and wonderful the atmosphere is, and, you know, the experience that you get in our smaller town. But we get a big game day experience, a lot from your decision making and your contribution to the organization, with the Pillars of Fire, with the inflatables, with the fireworks, with the community involvement, with you know, the supporters group, and being able to contribute to a positive fan experience for families. I remember, you know, then we started implementing a live stream. So we've got Paul Fripp, who is an Englishman. He's a super fan for soccer.
Authentic.
Yeah, I mean, genuine. Yeah, it's come to the match and then watch the stream after.
Right.
I do it all the time, but it's because I'm working. I can't really watch as a fan, so I get to watch on the live stream. But, you know, Paul Fripp and David Peacock are our announcers for the stream. which is typically broadcasted on YouTube or NBC Sports Engine.
Yep.
So, download those apps. And so talking to David, he said that he gets a lot of feedback from the viewers in that they're supporters of the individual players. So it's like friends and family back home or at the college and like, hey, yeah, we'll check out our boy. And then you have other fans, and then you also have competitors that are scouting us through that live stream. But, those two, and even Juan Sapiro helping from Circle City Inferno, not only doing the drums, but he's also contributing equipment because he works over at First United or Covenant United. He's there, he's helping out even more. Paul and David are helping out and giving up their time, not because they're being paid, but because they love it.
Right.
And they do a fantastic job. Yep. Even David Peacock is like, hey, how can I help get Dothan United on the national stage? So he calls that nationwide program, and the name escapes for what? Dan Patrick. Yeah, Dan Patrick. And that other radio personality, the sidekick, is no longer there, but he had a bunch of club scarves, and he's like, hey, can I send you one? And it was the last scarf that he had ever gotten because he had left shortly after. So the Dothan United Soccer Club scarves were sitting there in prominent positions for the last few weeks that he was there. I mean, it was the love of the club is so great that people are really trying to contribute to make it better.
Well, and more of a backstory with David. So our first year, I met him, and he came in the office and said, hey, I run this kickball organization. You think
that's right? We
could set up a game between the players and some of our players. Well, how would you like to become a sponsor? If you become a sponsor, we definitely do that. And he's like, okay, sure. And so we did it, not knowing where it was going to go, and played the game. And our guys had a ball. They had a ball. A lot of people came out to watch. And so he didn't know a soccer ball from a kickball when he first started. Okay. And he's become such a student of the game over the last 2 to 3 years. The information he comes up with our players, I mean, it's like, where do you get that from? I mean, he scouted them even more than, maybe not more, but as deeply as we have. And so here's a guy like, and that's what's happening in Dothan. We're, I would say first year nightly, I would have at least 20, 30 people a night come up to me and say, Mr. Donner, thank you so much for bringing this team here. I have no idea what I'm watching, but I love it. I'm having a ball. I get to root for the home team. And last year, second year, maybe more soccer fans learning the game, still a lot of entertainment seekers. This past year, this year, there's more fans, and we're going after more entertainment seekers. So we're maturing the market into a soccer market. Right. And we started out as simply an entertainment and bringing a sport to Dothan. So those people, like Walter Hill from the United Way. Right. His wife got him a Soccer for Dummies book because he had no idea what he was watching. Okay. And he was passing around to other people, and and there's so many side stories here, Rick. Right. It's just a testament to everyone. When I think of Dothan, the first thing I think of is what great people live here. And when I was in Texas for the winter with my hockey team and come back here to revive this for the summer and see what the organization means to the community here and the people here, boy, I feel great about what we're and we've got a long way to go. We can talk about that, but in 2 going on 3 short years, we've made an impact, and it's a growing impact.
And we can keep going on about the support and the love that we get from the community and from the business sponsors and from the media partners, but talking about season 2, right? We had a bunch of top level talent come into Dothan, place they've never even heard of, I'm sure.
Maybe a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, and so talking to Lori and Ezra and a couple of the other players, I was just really curious. I was like, what made you choose here?
Yeah.
And they were talking about the support, the social media presence was showing the fans in the stands. And then also that we did pretty good, but we have a good go at it now to do a proper team and try to run the table.
Correct.
And throughout the season, I mean, Asheville is no longer in our conference, or our division rather. But at the time, there were a big circle around them. Hey, we got to focus on Asheville. We got to beat them. But when we get down to it, Ezra and Lori were just talking about the fans, talking about the support. This is one of the reasons why they decided to come here. But also, because of all of that support, it gives them so much more exposure. And so we talked a little bit about it earlier, where we've been able to help advance some of our players into professional level contracts. Do you know how many people or how many players we've had promote?
7 so far.
7 so far.
In our first 2 years. Yep.
And so one that really stands out to me is Kevin Pierre.
Yes.
Last year I was calling his name for introductions, and now he's playing in New York City for New York City Football Club.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that just blows my mind.
Yep. And I think you mentioned all the players, and I think I'd also like to give the coaching staff a tremendous pitch here and credit, because Carl put together a recruiting guide last year going into our second year.
Yeah.
That if players didn't say yes to that, they're not talking to the right players.
Right.
And so they brought in quality guys. We had quality assets to show them. They put it all together.
Right.
And the whole pitch is like, I've been in the business for a long time of sports, minor league sports, and one thing's for certain, every player at every sport knows this. Players advance from winning teams.
Yeah.
Teams above, you can't learn to win at the highest level. You got to learn to win at a lower level.
Yeah.
And anytime I've had it, I've been fortunate to have 12 championship teams in different sports in my career. Every one of those teams, advanced.
Yeah.
In big numbers.
Yeah.
And so players are seeing now we're advancing for a 2-year-old team.
Yeah.
We're advancing big numbers. And they want to come here, help us win and advance.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to season 2, I mean, we made it to the Final Four out of, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 154 teams nationwide, and we made it to the top 4. That is something to be extremely thankful for. Carl did a fantastic job. The players did a fantastic job. The community support was fantastic. It all had to come together in order for us to perform at that high of a level. And it was so impressive. When I talk to people who've never been to a match, when I tell them, hey, our team, our community team, made it to the national stage. Yeah. We ended up losing to Vermont in penalties. Vermont later on went on to win the national championship. But to be that far into the nation, to the national tournament it's so impressive.
Well, and the team we lost to won the national championship. And,
right.
And our game was really, in my mind, the championship game. OT, penalty kicks. So, to do that in your second year is something to be. It's amazing. And the other thing I'd like to say, during the playoff, like I kept telling a lot of people here locally, this is exciting. You've seen nothing until you've seen playoff.
Yeah.
Playoff anything, playoff soccer, playoff hockey.
Right.
And so the playoff games we had at Rip Hughes, I felt our interest and passion just soar.
Yeah.
And when the games were being televised from Vermont, our viewership out of Dothan was the highest of any participating team.
Right.
And like viewership was like in the 20s of thousands. It was so there was a much wider audience following us at that time, and our social media hits overall were 500,000, 1.5 million per month. And there's only so many of those people right here in Dothan, so really felt a surge of passion and interest that we're hoping to build on for this year.
Yeah. Going into this year, I mean, we've talked about the roster, we've talked about the quality of the players, but how many players we have that are at such a high caliber of talent. I think Ricky's problem this year, which we have a new coach, Ricky Davey, fantastic coach. He's got a great history. He's got great experience, and I'm really excited to see him coach and how he's running the team. I think his biggest problem, and I know I've joked about this with a lot of people, but it's, you're going to have to calm down or get the buy-in from these players to. You're going to have to get buy-in from these players to reduce their minutes in order to win a championship. Yeah. And, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to.
I am too. And when you think about, we went exactly, I think, 1 week without a coach.
Yeah.
And Ricky came in, highly recommended, even from Carl.
You're right.
She did us a favor there. And Ricky came in very calmly, never skipped a beat. He had a pretty good beat on our roster already. He did a little research and started recruiting. And it's like we literally, if we were our heart never fluttered. It just disappointment when Carl moved on.
Right.
But we attacked it right away.
Right.
And we got a coach that is doing an amazing job. He's come in, and again, he's benefited from us having a great second year as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he would kid anybody about that. But his recruiting network is very wide. He's well respected. He's got a great rapport with the players. And so, my gosh, we're sitting here going into year 3 with really expectations. We want to go after a national championship there. Finish what we started, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see these boys take on Montgomery this Saturday at Rip Hughes. I'm really excited to see, how we play the other teams as well. But right now the focus is on Montgomery.
And let me tell you something about Montgomery. We had definitely a rivalry with them last year.
We sure did.
For a number of reasons.
Yes.
And some organic, some professional. And they are a greatly improved organization this year.
Yes. I hats off to them.
Yeah.
I respect it.
Same.
It's one of those, with my I call them summer sons. I don't know what the other host families call them, but with my summer sons, I'm like, hey, they're bringing it. This is their Super Bowl, and they're not just some rollover team.
When we were doing the schedule, we thought it'd be great to get an opponent nearby to have fans travel back and forth. And quite honestly, we didn't anticipate them being as competitive as they're going to be on the field.
Right.
And so, but our coaches know it, our players know it.
Yeah.
So for an early season game, this is going to be playoff atmosphere.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
Is, because, Asheville tied last night, so they didn't get off to a win in their first game. We don't want to stub our toe. We have very close memories of Montgomery beating us in their building.
Yeah.
First week of the season last year.
Yeah, but that was,
I know it was rain, it was this or that.
It was a tsunami going on, and anyway.
Still, we lost. So
right.
So they're going to come in and they're going to want to do that again.
Right.
And our guys, we've got to find our chemistry, and so doing that in game 1 is a challenge.
Yeah.
Probably more pressure on us at home because of the crowd. Well, I think we're definitely going to be ready for it. So they're not going to sneak up on us, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
And I can't wait because it's for home opener. It's always fun opening night, but man, there's going to be an edge to opening night this year.
Yeah, we're excited. Is there anything else that you want to share before we wrap up, Steve?
Yeah, what I'd say, we've talked a lot of positive things here, and there's very few negatives really that involved us our first couple of years. I think we're facing the reality of year 3, and and in any business or any sport, especially if you're a competitor, your costs don't go down. They go up. We're still teaching Dothan how to be a sports city and how to support us. And so what we're asking our fans, what we're asking our, if you've been out to a game, come out to 2 or 3. If you were out 3 or 4, come every night.
Right.
If you're a sponsor and you budget X amount of dollars for us, please grow with us, as we're growing. Because, right now our expenses are probably outgrowing our revenues only because we're aggressively trying to grow the organization.
Right.
And it's tough for the the community understand that because they've never been through it.
Right.
So I'm just asking the community, please grow with us.
Yeah.
And support. We've loved the support we have so far, but we're not done. We want to grow to League One, or we want to be always the top of League Two.
Right.
And to do that, we still have some growing to do to build our revenues and support to get there.
I've had plenty of conversations with General Manager Aaron McCray, with you, and there's so many different ways that a business can look at this. It can be, hey, we're going to go ahead and incorporate you into our advertising budget. But I do think that a lot of people, a lot of businesses miss the mark in that this organization is a significant enhancement to the quality of life here in Dothan.
Yeah.
I am born and raised in Southern California. We had the Lakers, the Dodgers, the Angels, the Anaheim Ducks, the LA Kings. We had football teams like the Raiders and the Rams and the Chargers, and tons of minor league ball clubs, and it gave families things to do. But if we want to increase the quality of life here in Dothan United Soccer Club is something that can definitely help. It can definitely help more families. It can definitely help more businesses come into the community, creating more job opportunities, and more job opportunities that have a higher level of income, which in turn contributes to the overall quality of life here. So if you are listening to this and you have any type of influence to advertising dollars, or helping influence to make the community better and represent the business, please reach out to us, because it's only, there's no negative that I've experienced in the 2 seasons that we've done this. And supporting the club and doing something like this, I mean, our fans are super supportive of the club, and they are super supportive of the people who help sponsor.
Again, I don't expect people to understand this, but when the city made the commitment to put money into Ripview Stadium, that was a signal to me that the city was ready to grow the next level for sports. So the city made the commitment, God bless them, because it enticed us to come here. And then when you come here, we're the only sports team in town. We're good community partners. We're out in the community helping out. We're raising money. And so we really can't survive long term without continued growth of support. If you were watching our scores and cheering for us behind the scenes, come out and see us.
Yeah.
If you thought about sponsoring us, but it wasn't in the cards this year, there's still time to be a sponsor. But let's grow this together. And I think we have to this point, but our growth isn't done yet, and the community's growth and support has to go hand in hand with our growth.
Yeah. Steve, thank you so much for your time, man.
Oh, it's been always great chatting with you, and it's so fun to talk 2 years later to see where we've come from the original vision that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of like a time capsule moment.
It is.
I mean, go back, listen to that episode, and then jump into this one, and you'll just see the growth. But, the passion, we're so excited. And now that we're experiencing it, we're even more excited. So, but yeah, no, thank you so much. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Go Dragons. Thanks.